Hello, welcome back to the 10-Minute Teach, and we are finishing off our series this week on mindset. What mindset is useful for collaborations? So far we've covered generosity of spirit, adventure. I'm going to read them because I can never quite remember them. Being curious, adventurous, sense of fun, free thinking, creative. And this week, the last week, is the more serious ones of being courageous and vulnerability. Now, being courageous, actually, there's a million books on both of these topics out there. So if you've never read anything on it, first things first, Brené Brown will help you on that journey. I can't remember, the power of vulnerability is huge. But being courageous as well is tied up, a lot of it is tied up in your self-worth. Sometimes if you don't feel of value, if you don't feel important, if you don't feel worthy, you won't have the courage to tackle someone about something. I've heard people say that they struggle to pick the phone up to make a phone call because they are worried or concerned that they are disturbing someone. And you kind of beg the question as well, how do you pick up the phone to get any new business in if you're not actually going to talk to somebody in case you disturb them? Tricky problem. So you have to have courage in business. You have to have courage in life, really, if you're going to get what you are here for, what you deserve, what you should be fighting for your nearest and dearest. You're going to need courage. And in a collaboration, you're going to need courage. When somebody says something and you're going, oh, I don't think that's going to work. Oh, you've got to put your hand up and say it out loud. Don't just think it. Because when you internalize something, your thoughts, your feelings, it's going to end up, as we know, in disease, dis-ease. So for me, as an example, I love giving myself as an example, but asking for money was always took so much courage. People would ask me, can I borrow some money? And then ignore me when I was like, when are you able to pay it back? Could you pay it? And I would be very, very nice about it, but I never outrightly said, pay me back. You owe me money, pay me back. And they would wiggle their way out of it. And I end up, oh, well, what can you do? And I would allow myself to be less of myself because I didn't want money to come between me and anybody else. Now, it wasn't money that was coming between me and anybody else. It was their lack of coming to me to explain why they hadn't paid. It was their poor relationship with me that meant I didn't see myself as worthy of having my money paid back to me. It's very messed up, very complicated. Pleased to say I've got over that one. Now my philosophy is I don't loan anybody anything. I give them money. If I think they need money, then I will give them money. Don't ask me to borrow any, because the answer's no. But it is about, I needed courage to ask. Isn't that crazy? Some of you will be sitting there going, well, that's mad. But then I'm saying, looking at some people go, well, you couldn't pick the phone up to ask for a sale. That's crazy. It's not that dissimilar. We all need courage in some areas. I'm not talking massive courage to do crazy things. I'm talking courage in everyday terms. Courage to talk to your parents if you've had an argument. Courage to mend the fences with a friend if it hasn't worked out, you've not been in touch for a little while. Courage to admit to your children you don't know the best way to parent and they need to help you. That sort of courage is needed. And then you take it into a collaboration. And when somebody is riding roughshod over ideas or thoughts or feelings, you have to have the courage to stand up for what you see is right. Right for the team, right for the project, right for you. Don't let people walk all over you. You don't have to be obtuse. You don't have to be sarcastic. You don't have to be mean or horrible to anybody. Just speak your truth. But have the courage to speak your truth and stand up. And when you are standing up to say, I disagree, or that doesn't feel right, or I'm not happy with that, you're being vulnerable. It's massive because we're putting ourselves, we're standing up to be shot down in essence, and we're being vulnerable in that. And we might have to be more vulnerable to say, what you just said triggered me. It's upset me. I don't understand why, or I've got issues around that, or I don't feel happy. Talking about our emotions is really difficult. We're not great at sharing our vulnerabilities. And in a collaboration, you think, oh, it's business. I'll just talk to my husband when I get home. I'll give my bestie a ring and have a chat and have a moan to her about this awful person in the collaboration. Wouldn't it be better to clear the air and have that conversation with that person, if not in front of everybody else, that's certainly after the meeting, and without accusing them of, you know, when you said that, I felt really upset. I'm really upset. Take the emotion out of it and just say, could we have a conversation? And when you get them to sit down and say, look, I don't know if you realise it, but when you said that, it really triggered me. And I'm not 100% sure why, but I just wanted you to know that, you know, I'm being vulnerable now by telling you this, but I want you to know that it's stirred up some stuff, and I think we need to talk about it. I think we need to get it resolved. 9 times out of 10, that person will then have deep respect for you, for having the courage to do it, and for being vulnerable. And I guarantee they will be the same to you. They will allow themselves, because you have gifted them your vulnerability, they will do the same to you. They will share, I know when so-and-so said that, I felt awful because, and it will come, and you create a bond between you. And if they are the 0.0001% of people who take advantage of your vulnerability, then you don't want to be part of that collaboration. Just walk away. Collaboration isn't everything, and some collaborations are not meant to work. If you cannot be vulnerable with those people that you want to collaborate with, that you want to share your genius with, that you are able to help and support through the collaboration, and they want to take advantage of you, I would suggest walking away. But if you share and they share too, just imagine 3 of you, 5 of you, 7 of you sitting around a table, having those opportunities to share. What a bond that you are building. How close will you be after that? Because you had the courage to stand up and say, when this came up, it hurt me deeply, and I want to explain why. They don't know your background. They don't know your life before you arrived in this collaboration. They don't know what's going to trigger you, what's going to upset you. It's not them that's done it. It's your life and your history and your background you've brought that to the table. That's your little suitcase of baggage that you've probably brought with you. If somebody is being mean, then you can sort that out and deal with it. But if you are triggered and upset, there's a reason why you're being upset. And if you allow yourself to be vulnerable with the people in the room, 99.99999% of the time, you'll be met with love. And it will be worth it. And for that 1.0, I'm no good at maths, that 0.001% of the person who takes advantage of your vulnerability, well then that's your cue. You don't need to be around those people. You can walk away with head held high. But taking the courage in both hands when you need to, being vulnerable when you feel it's called for, the people around you will be amazed, they will thank you, and they will reciprocate. So having a mindset of courage, feel good about that. And a mindset of vulnerability, allowing yourself, be free. You want to be creative, free thinking, adventurous, sense of fun, generosity of spirit. Well then, you're allowed to be vulnerable. You're allowed to be vulnerable, it's okay. And especially in the collaboration global community, it's definitely okay. Because our values are love, human being first, and then collaboration. You're a human being first, you deserve to be listened to and to be loved. Okay. My 10 minutes are up. That goes quick, doesn't it? I hope you've been enjoying the PDFs that we've been posting here. I'll be looking at, if you've got any answers or solutions to any of the questions that have been posed, please pop them in the comments. And I look forward to seeing you at a Collaboration Global members meeting soon. Take care.